Well, I am joined by Ryan MacDonald, Vice President of Revenue Management and E-commerce at Palm Holdings, coming to us from Toronto, Canada. Hello, sir.
Hello, how are you?
I'm okay. Like I was saying, there's a hurricane coming at me. I'm in Houston, but I think it's going to miss us a little bit. And then there's a pandemic going on.
Yes, in case no one's noticed.
But we're going to make it. So tell us a little bit about Palm Holdings real quick. You've got hotels in the UK, Canada, US, branded, independent.
Yeah, so our North American hotels between Canada and the US are all branded properties. Then our UK division, which we call the Edinburgh Collection, are all independent properties. So it's been it's been a little different geographically. All of our North American hotels were able to stay open during the pandemic, which was great. Unfortunately, our European division had to temporarily shut down, but have recently reopened as well.
So everybody's open.
Everybody's open right now. Yes, open for business.
So how has I mean, are you dealing with all of them, right?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. So how has the juggling? Has there been any difference between getting through this with the brands and the independents?
I mean, one good thing about having the branded properties is that a lot of the brands got on this early, coming out with their clean promise or what they're doing for guest safety, putting very strict protocols in place as well. Actually, with our IHG properties, they've started redoing virtual audits to make sure that everybody is owning up to all the safety practices, the social distancing, the cleansing, all that kind of stuff, etc. With the independent properties in our UK division, we kind of had a model to see what the brands were doing and then kind of start formatting our own policies and stuff to put in place. So definitely a little bit more challenging with the independents because there was no playbook to go by, whereas with the branded properties, we did get a lot of support from the brands. Well,
revenue management and e-commerce, you have a lot on your plate. How has your world changed?
It's been a roller coaster. I'm not going to lie. A lot more focus, I think, have been put on to revenue management. Where I mean, we were making some great roads, but I mean, people still don't really know what a revenue manager or a VP of revenue does because it's still relatively new to our industry. Mm-hmm. This has definitely put a spotlight on what we do on a daily basis, and understanding that the strategies that we put in place, a lot of them are long-term acting. So it's not something you're going to see within 48 hours. You're going to see it within a couple of weeks, starting to build momentum and roll in over time. It's definitely been a lot of education for everybody within the company, just kind of on what we do, how strategy works, and a lot more collaboration, not only with sales, but with our frontline GMs as well, which I think is fantastic.
Yeah, so the communication lines are better now than they were maybe?
Oh, absolutely, 100%. I would say that. If there's a positive that we can look on this, I think communication lines between frontline, operations, revenue, and sales is definitely becoming a lot more crucial just to make sure everybody knows every piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, great. So what about any tactics that you might share with us about what's working for your hotels? They're so diverse in so many different regions, but maybe you can share some things with us.
Some things that we've been doing that we've been kind of blanketing across the brand, if you will. So we are taking the safety standards that are coming out from the brands, and we're actually enhancing that 1 or 2 levels more. So we're going above and beyond what the brands are recommending as a minimum, and we're communicating that out to our guests. So we're doing e-blasts. We're making sure that not only the brand sites are updated with all the information, make sure all your third-party sites make sure they're updated with the information. If you have any vanity sites, we're doing e-blasts. We've started doing text message campaigns through a company called SwayPay, which is, I mean, it's a great way to get in front of that millennial guest that you're trying to reach, and it's really paying off because right now cleanliness and safety are the number one top priorities that guests are looking at when they travel. And as we have branded properties, we want to make sure that our IHG or Marriott hotel stands out better than the competitor down the road because we're going to do more and go above and beyond with that minimum standard.
Right. So are you booking guests?
We are, yes, surprisingly. We're getting, so some of our hotels have some great government hospital business because of the areas that they're in. We are working, one of our properties, our Radisson property, has actually been working with a homeless shelter since March, and then they've taken up half of our hotel. So we've kind of converted into a little bit of a shelter there. And our extended stay properties are doing extremely well right now. We're finding we're getting a lot of transient people at the extended stay properties because they just want to get away for a weekend. And it's still like having your mini apartment. They just want to get away from the hub where everything is and coming out to an area where things are not as crazy with cases.
Right. So as we wrap up here, Ryan, I mean, any advice you might have for other hoteliers out there going through the pandemic?
Just, you know what, stay strong. I mean, we're all in this together. One fundamental that I actually have a Post-it on my workspace is lowering rate is not going to increase demand.
There you go.
Because I know, like you know, your owners like, oh, like what if we dropped rate? Well, if there's no one traveling, you're just diluting people that would have booked business with you anyway. So just remember that, you know, sometimes you're wanting to pull the trigger on that rate, but I think if we stay strong as an industry, when travel does rebound, because it will come back, there's not going to be a big of a climb for us to get back to where rates should be, because we didn't drop too low during this pandemic.
All right, some good advice from Mr. Ryan. Thank you so much for joining me, sir.
Thank you. Have yourself a great day.
You too.